Hello everyone, it's Veronica and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about the Cruel Prince trilogy. If you guys watch my favorite YA fantasy video, I actually talked about the Cruel Prince trilogy because it was one of my favorites and I still enjoy it. I actually read it, I think, in early 2020, and I actually loved it, and I think it's just because I really enjoyed the enemies to lovers trope and just reading about it, and also the character development was pretty good in this trilogy. I especially loved Cardin's development throughout the story. He's the enemy, He's the one that actually bullies Jude in the beginning of the story, but with good reasons. And bullying is bad. I do not condone bullying, but his reasons as to why he bullied was actually, he ended up explaining it at towards the middle of the Cruel Prince, and it was something that I actually enjoyed reading. And Cruel Prince, out of the three, was one of my favorites. The Wicked King was my favorite out of the three. The Queen of Nothing was not specifically my favorite because I felt like it was not a strong ending to the Cruel Prince trilogy. I think the Queen of Nothing definitely could have been better. I thought the twist that happened in The Wicked King was great, and the ending was amazing because it ends up with a plot twist. The ending as a whole for the series could have been so much stronger. But all in all, it was great. I think I absolutely loved the enemies to lovers development that Jude and Cardin had. It was strong and one of my favorites. I think this is a great starting point for any enemies to lovers. Like, if you guys love enemies to lovers, you'll love this, I think, especially within the fantasy category. It was fantastic. For the Cruel Prince, I think as a starter, it was great. It was just the development, the way Jude had to do all these exercises and training to really become stronger enough, because actually she's like trying to do something with the palace. The conflict, that's the word. The conflict that she has to go through, it needs her to train, and I think the training that, it was just really, really nice to read, and I actually really enjoyed it, and I loved it. There was betrayal in it, there's romance in it, there's some stupid characters I did not like in it, but all books have that, and I enjoyed it. I gave this pretty high ratings on Goodreads, and it was one of my favorites. I think the problem with why people didn't like it so much was, I think, just because Jude was just annoying. And I agree, Jude was not my favorite. Cardin was my absolute favorite all around. I loved him so much. But Jude, her actions sometimes were quite annoying. But the one thing I did like was the way Jude fought in all three, and her reasonings behind the twists that she did were explainable. She was just kind of dumb sometimes, and that's why I didn't like her as much. But Cardin as well, he was strong throughout the series. He was a bully in the beginning, but he became one of those good kings, princes towards the end of the series, so it was just amazing. And Cardin, he's just one of those fae princes that you grow to love. Jude and Cardin's romance throughout all this, it was so cute to see the way they fought to expel their connection towards each other. They gravitated towards each other a lot, but they try to fight it off until the very end, where they're like, yes, I want you, and I loved it. It wasn't the type of enemies to lovers that you're just like, no thank you. I very much enjoyed it. The conflict that she had to go through within the story was captivating. I was so energized to read this, and it made me happy to read them, actually, and it was just so enjoyable because Cardin and Jude both did stupid things, but they worked with each other, which is why the character development in this book is one of my favorites. I very much enjoyed it. The Wicked King was my favorite out of the three, just because it was more excitement. When I read a fantasy, a fae, anything fantasy-wise that deals with magic or anything, I want to see more action. The Wicked King specifically was my favorite, with the action, with the conflict, with the plot twist. Everything that happened was like shocking to me, and I absolutely love it because it's not one of those where you're like, you have to fight something. No, there was betrayal, there was plot twists, there was death, there was fighting, there was bloodshed, so much of it. And I shouldn't like bloodshed or reading about it or watching it, but I did. I love reading about that stuff. It gets me going. It makes me happy to read about that, which is concerning, I realize. But one of my favorites, this was definitely, well, the way Holly Black went about the ending of the Wicked King in The Queen of Nothing was just not my favorite. I just wish it was stronger, you know? I love it when books end strong, and I love it when just these types of books have very strong endings. If I read a strong ending, I love it. But The Queen of Nothing did not give me the satisfaction I needed. I wanted the satisfaction. Everybody wants to read a good ending, you know? I loved the ending with Jude and Cardan. The way Jude fought for Cardan and the way Cardan fought for Jude, it was average. It was average. It was not exciting as I wanted to, but what can I say except for I'm just slightly a little bit disappointed in it, and it wasn't my favorite. So could it have been better? Yes. But let's talk about Jude and Cardan because they were fabulous. The Cruel Prince was fabulous, even though Cardan starts out bullying Jude, but the way Jude was strong-headed and the way she didn't let the bullying get to her was fabulous. Like, when you see bullying, for some reason, maybe it's the books I'm reading when it comes to enemies to lovers, the one getting bullied is not strong. You know, I hate it. But the way Jude acts towards Cardan is amazing because she doesn't let the bullying get to her. She doesn't let his words sink in. And when they finally, when Jude traps Cardan, and because she's trying to figure things out, she gets to know things as to why she bullies him. Why he bullies her. So that was one of my favorite parts. And then the ending towards each other, it was like, when they got together, I think it was my favorite. It was like, I was like I was shocked and confused, but happy all at once. I was just like, yes, it was so exciting to read. I loved it, especially just because for this book, I think it was a great enemies to lovers romance, and it was fabulous to start out reading enemies to lovers through these books as a starter. For my love for this trope, which I think I just said the same thing over and over again, but in different wording, so I'm confusing myself. Cardan starts out bullying Jude, but then the way he develops as a person, as a prince, makes it even stronger, and that's what I want to see when it comes to enemies to lovers. You don't want just the same type of fighting, the bullying in it. However, the one thing I didn't like throughout it was the way they changed their minds about everything in all three books. I would think that while they developed more, they wouldn't go back to the same stupidity, but they ended up doing that. This was definitely one of my favorite series to read so far this year. I absolutely love Holly Black, and I'm so excited for the new book she's coming out with. I'm ready to get that. I very much enjoyed the Cruel Prince trilogy. It was just fantastic. If you guys are starting out to read enemies to lovers trope, or if you want to start out reading enemies to lovers, this is a great start. I do have to say that it's very fantasy focused. This isn't enemies to lovers focused. It's not specifically all about them. It's more about the fighting that and the development of the world building within each story. So if you're more looking for the romance focused, I'm just gonna say that this is not very romance focused, but world building focused. There's specific romance in it between Jude and Cardan, but it's not super in depth as one might think. Thank you guys so much for watching this review on the Cruel Prince trilogy. I very much enjoyed it, you guys know that, and I'm excited to hear what you guys think of it. Did you hate it? Did you love it? Or do you want to read it? And if you want to read it, I suggest go ahead and reading it because it was fabulous. And I'm very much excited to read the new Holly Black book that's coming out within the Cruel Prince universe, I think is the new book. I do not remember actually, so I'm actually really excited to read it. And if you guys enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, comment down below if you guys love this series, if you want to read the series, and just in general any of your thoughts. Hit that red subscribe button if you guys want to see more book content. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!